Hello guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to teach you how to develop web application using ASP.NET Core Razor Pages. So, web application development with ASP.NET Core Razor Pages. So, basically, this application will do um, employee login and then employee management. Okay, so this is the login screen when you fall into, and I'm going to show you how the application works before we go into the actual development. So this is the first screen you come into. When you log in, there's going to be two sets of login. The first login is going to be for just a regular employee, and the second login is going to be for a manager. And then when you go to the dashboard, it's going to be two different display in there. So let's start off with just a regular login. All right, so you see this is just a regular login. I'm going to put the password, and when you just log in, you see how it welcomes you, and then it tells you your details and all of that. You can also edit. You can also go to edit screen and edit the employee, and you can also just view your stuff. Now let's go and try to log in as a manager. So now we're logging as the manager. So now when you log in as a manager, you can view your details as the manager. However, you could see all other employees that are under your department, right? And the departments and all of that. You can add a new employee right here. You can view that employee details. You can edit the employee. You can also delete the employee. So these are the basic CRUD operations and basic display um, patterns that I would just wanted to show you with ASP.NET Razor Pages. So ASP.NET Razor Pages, how to develop web applications using ASP.NET Razor Pages. So that's it. Let's go and start this series. This is going to be a couple of series, couple of parts. So, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible and as short as possible so you can understand. Please, if you're new here, please subscribe to this channel. Also, like this video so that YouTube can recommend this video to more people. I need more subscribers and I need more likes to my videos. Thank you so much. Let's get started. Alright guys, so let's start with the login screen. Okay, so the login screen is the landing screen. When you come into the application, you first land on a login screen, login page. So let's get started with that, and I'm going to be starting a brand new project, and I'll show you how to start the project, how to create the okay, so it's a brand new slate of project right here. You could go with create a new project right here, and then inside of here you could click, look at this one here, ASP.NET Core Web App. ASP.NET Core Web App. And by the way, this development environment is Visual Studio. So if you don't have Visual Studio, you have to install Visual Studio to follow along with me. This is Visual Studio 2022 community version. So you're gonna click on this guy, and then you click next here. So it's important that you actually click ASP.NET Core Web App. Okay, otherwise don't pick any of these other guys. It's important you pick this one here. Okay, so we're gonna start. We're gonna go next, and I just let me call this Razor Pages demo. Razor Pages demo. Okay, so and then we just like continue next. Just leave all these settings like this, and you create. All right, so it's loading up. When we start this application, I just want you to have an open mind, because I will try to be as slow as possible and also as basic as possible, because I know some people are learning from scratch and some people already have experience. We need to try to carry everybody along. So be patient with me, and be patient with me because I'm trying to carry the new beginners along. And also, if you're a beginner too, you could pause the video sometimes to go back and look at what I'm doing. Okay, so the screen, the project just loaded. All right, so in this project, you see, we only have one web application. This is a web application. Whenever you see this globe here that is blue, sometimes the globe is green. It means it's a web application or an API application. But this is a web application, so that is that. And this is the project here, and this is the solution. So it has the solution is the main container of the project. So this solution has one project, and this is the only one project that we have. So now we'll come down here. The first thing you're going to see is this project.cs is where the project starts when it's loading. All these things are just wiring up the project to start loading up. All these things. And then you see the last thing here is run. So it's actually loads the map Razor pages, and then it's going to run it. The last thing is run right there. So that's that. It's important I show you that. The next thing I want to show you is the app settings. So what is the app settings in a project? It's not only in web application projects, it's also in different projects like A- API projects or MVC projects, or basically most of the projects in ASP.NET will have the app settings now. Okay. Now, what does the app settings do? The app settings is where you set your values, your important values. For example, you have passwords. Sometimes your applications need to store and use usernames and passwords to log into a different application within your development. So you store those username and passwords in the app settings. You also store connection strings in the app settings. You also store let's say some websites that you're going to try to navigate to within your application. You store them here, and then you call them within your application while programming it. So this is the use of app settings. It's just like, you know, it's the application settings, right? It has all of those things, passwords and all of that. Okay, the next thing here is the pages. Okay, so these pages are exactly what it is. The name is the pages of your application. So you could see that the index application is the landing screen of your application, and it is in this index that I'm going to be doing the login screen. Okay, so this is the first screen that the first page that you will hit in the application. So it's index. This is privacy. That's, you know, the privacy. This is error. When an error occurs, it's going to go to this page. And then there is also shared files like the layouts. So this layout is a common layout within all the pages. So for example, you have like your navigation bar, your home, about us, contact us. This page here, if we go into there, you're going to see that it has the home, the privacy policy, and other links, contact us, and all of that. This is common to all the pages. So this layout is common to all the pages. That's why it's inside the shared folder. It's shared by all the pages. So this is common. You don't need to do anything about this. It's already auto-generated for you. However, you could try to change the text here. This is privacy. This is home. You could decide to say um, employee home, something like that. You know, you could try to change some stuff. Like for example, here you could change this. I could try to change this to employee management. Employee management, yeah, right. That sounds better. Employee management. So now this would display on the screen employee management instead of just displaying the project name. So that's how it is. You know, you could also come here and change the title to um, different thing. This is the title, but that's it. This is going to be shared across all the application. So that's that. One final thing before we begin the login is the root folder. www root folder contains your CSS, your JavaScript, and other libraries. So your CSS is, of course, to use to beautify your application. So this is that, and I just wanted to show you that. And then your dependencies is like anything that your project will depend upon, all the dependencies and all of that goes here. So that's that. All right, so let's start this development. I just wanted to introduce the whole framework, the whole let's save this. I wanted to introduce the whole layout and setup for you before we go into the screen. So I want to go to the index page. This is where I want to use as my login screen. So the landing screen for me is the login screen. Now let's see what is inside of here. all it says is title is homepage, and then it says welcome, and then ASP.NET. So let's just run it so you could see what it shows, like what does it look like right now before we start making changes. Okay, if you if you are if I'm too fast, please, I apologize, please pause the video and go along. If I'm too slow, I also apologize because there are people that probably do not really understand fast, so they need to. I'm trying to be a little bit slower so that we could get them up and running. So you see that employee management that we changed right here is displaying right here. You see the welcome, and that welcome is what is that thing. Like, let me just show you. Let's look at the code again. So the this welcome is that welcome, and then the learn about building is this one here, and all of that. We're going to remove all of these things, and we're going to change our own and put our own stuff, but I just wanted to show you how the screen looks like right now. Okay, so how it looks like right now before we change. We're going to put our login right here. So we're going to have login right here, just that I showed before now. In the intro, we're going to have the login right here. We're going to try to center it in the middle using CSS, and then we are going to just navigate to the employee dashboards page after here. So let's go and start developing the login screen. So I'm going to stop this just by closing this. And so the first thing that I want to do here in this login screen is to, of course, to do like the welcome screen. Um, this is the to do the welcome. Maybe edit it a little bit. Add a CSS here. So if you add like if you do like style here, style, and then I want to put the color, right. I want to give it a nice color. So I do like a color. Let's say I give it like a dark olive green. I already picked that color. Yeah, I already picked that color already, so I already know it. So that's that. And also inside of here, instead of writing all of these things, I just want to say, please log in below. Like to like tell people that to log in below. That is not a link. It's not a link. It's just a text. So I'm going to put it in the paragraph here. So let's just say, please log in below. Something like that. Makes sense, like. And then I'm also going to be adding a style here, add a style here, and then put a color. Choose a color you like, but for me, I already have, I guess, I want to make it a slightly darker green. So like that. So I'm adding a style here, and color is dark slate green. Dark slate green. Okay. So let's see. Let's run it and see what we have already. I know it's too early to be looking at things, but let's just run it and see. Like, I like to, when you develop a little bit, just look and see how it's looking so far. So we should say welcome, and then please log in below here. All right. So this is what we want. Login. Welcome. Please log in below. Okay. Now let's go and do the login. Let's start the login. Login text box, and for that, I want to kind of like put it in a div. Uh, put it in a div like that. Now this div should be the container. Like, this should kind of be like a container to. So let's do class, right? Call it container. Okay, that's that. And then inside of this div, now let's have another div that will be the login section. Like a login section, right? So let's have another div. It's nice to kind of create all your divs first before you kind of really go a lot into programming. And I want to give this an ID of. So again, I'm using a class at the top. I'm using ID here. Just, it's not for any reason, just to show you that I could use class and IDs to program as well. Login section. Let's give it like the name login section for this ID in this div. And then the next thing, of course, we're going to create a form. So let's give it a form tag. right? So I haven't done much here. I haven't even started programming yet, but this is just like a layout that I'm just giving for you. So it's a div with a container, a div with a login section, and a form. But usually the form should be, we should be able to tell what the form should be. Is it a post form, or is it a get form, or what type of form is it? Um, right here I'm going to be telling that it should be a post. So we're going to be posting method equals to post. So you see the options right there, right? So this form will be a post. Why is it a post? It is a post because we're going to have two text box, and the text box is going to be username and password, and we're going to tell the form to post those two text box to the back end where we can program to see if it is available in database. If it is available in database, then log in and show the user the dashboard. If it's not available, you're going to show an error. So that's why we're going to post it. We're going to post those two. Now we got all of this. This is the form now. So now that we have the form, we want to start coding each of them, like each of the text box and the labels, right? And it's just a text box, right? But it's nice that you have it in a very um, organized format. So I already kind of have it written out. I don't want to waste too much of time. So what's going to happen is I'm going to paste here, and then you're going to copy it, follow what I'm doing. So so I pasted this thing right here. So this is like the username input, right? So you make a div, make one div like that, give it a class. The class name should be form dash outline space MB4, right? And then give it your label. Do a label tag. Give it a class name as form label, and then for this could be any name you like. I gave it username. That's like uname, username, and then inside of that, just call it username like that. And then also now this is the input. This is the text box. You put an input of type text, an ID of uname, and the form control as a class. This one here, I added it because I'll show you that I'll show you why I added this in a minute. Name is equal to username, right? I'll show you why I added this in a minute. So you could do the same thing. Just once you finish that, just copy and paste, and then change this to password input, username. I mean password here, and then maybe give it IDs for passwords and type passwords here like that, and like that. So I'll show you. Let me just paste again. So like that. So when you finish, it's gonna look like this. Okay, and just take away this space here. So you're gonna look like this. Password inputs. For me, 4 is PSW, for that's present password for me, and ID is PSW. Form control password as well. The name is password. Type is password. So if you could pause the video here to type out these things exactly as it is. Remember, this is the form, and then this is the two text boxes that will be in the form. Okay, and then that's not the end. We still need a button that will submit. So there's a button that's supposed to submit this, right? Um, so there's a button right here like that. So you have this button now that should be submitting. So when you do the button, make sure that it's of type submit. Usually by default it's of type button, but make sure that it's of type submit. That's why it's called submit button here. Make sure it's of type submit. Give it a class of btn-btn primary, or you could give it a btn-success. Success means it's going to be green button. Here for me, I just wanted to a blue button, and you could do btn-block and just give it all these classes and then sign in. You'll see that your login will start coming together. Now, there's a reason why I said type this to make this type submit, because inside a form, if you are trying to post a form, you, your button must be a type of submit. if you're trying to post this form, the button must have to be type submit. If you put type button, it's not going to submit. So let's see how it goes right now, how it looks right now, and then we'll continue from here. All right, so right now it looks like this. As a login, I feel like this is slightly too wide and it's just too wide. I would like it to be like more like centered in the middle, right there, and all of that. That's just like a CSS. So we could use like a CSS and do this. Okay, so let's go. Um, I'm gonna add a CSS here, right there. So you do like style, open and close, and then in between in this space I'm gonna be adding a CSS. I have the CSS already there, so I'm just gonna copy and paste, and I'll tell you what is this. Okay, so the first section that we are targeting is the container section, right there. Again, there's a reason why I did a class and an ID. So the container is a class. So this container is a class container. So that's why you see I'm using dot container. The login section is an ID. That's why I'm using hashtag ID. So that's why hashtag ID is an ID, right? So that's why you do hashtag the ID name here. So this will target the container, like to make it center the container, justify content and all of that. Then this will this is like kind of giving it a nice color, border, padding, and all those things for here. Now this will make it center and make it smaller. So let's see. Well, take your time, pause the video here, take your time and type this thing out as it is like this. Once you finish, I'm going to run this now. So once you finish, you can run it as well, and then we should see it well aligned in the middle like that. Let's run it. Okay, something is not quite right here, so let's go and try to fix that. I'll change that to that. Maybe it is conflicting with the container name that by default ASP by default Bootstrap has a container class, so maybe it's conflicting with that class. Let's see if that's the case. Yep, that was exactly what it was. So now it looks really nice, and like a login screen and all of that, which is really nice. Perfect, perfect. We have all of these guys, so perfect. Now we have the login screen, but we haven't done anything with it yet, right? So I probably would have wanted to record that the other side of working on the login screen on a different video, but that would mean that I kind of broke my promise. I wanted everything to be in one video as a login, and how the login submits the bot submits it. So let's go back here and start that aspect. So if you did that, so just change this to a capital letter C and change this to capital letter C, and then your page will line up correctly. All right. Okay, so let us go and start this programming stuff going. So if you come here, you're going to see that there is index.chtml.cs. This is where you write the program in C sharp code. Now in the C sharp code, they already have kind of a basic setup for you, so you could just do your stuff and let it start flowing. Okay, I want to. So what I want to do here is to set up the post method. So we have a post. So when you click the button, we want the form to post. So let's start setting up the post method. I want to do a public I action result. Is already coming out there for me on post. It's important you do on post as it is like this, through, or you do anything, whatever you do, you just do on, then the name of what you're trying to do, on, and then the name of whatever you're trying to do. For me, I'm trying to do it on post. I'm trying to post, so I'm doing it on post method. Okay. What am I trying to post over here? I am trying to post this these two here, the username and the password. Okay. So when I click this button, I want these two, the values inside of these two to post in here, so we can check in the database and see if those username and password is in the database, and then we can show them the screen. All right, so let's go back here. So because of that, I will need to capture those values, those username and password over here. Now the beauty, the very beauty of Razor pages is that they have made this look very beautiful, easy for us. So I'm going to add a property here. This is going to be a string username. Okay, I'll add another property again as for the password. So this is where it all begins. This is all where the magic starts. Like, this is where all the programming starts and the magic starts from here. So pay good attention. I'm going to try to. So we have these two properties right here, and these two properties match exactly the name here. So that's why I told you you're going to see in a second how. So the name should match exactly those two properties there, so that when you post it, it will just be available here. But it's not going to just be available like that. We have to tell it, bind it to these properties. So we are binding this name to username, which is exactly the same spelling and the same everything here. And then also the password is also done the same thing, binded the same thing. All you have to do right now is just to do this, decorate it with a binded property. So open and close rectangular bracket, and just inside of it write bind property on top of the username. So same thing for password as well. That's it. Now when I come here and I do right here and I do var, I'm just gonna do var, let's say username uname, right, equals to username, which is this username right here, which is this one right here. And I'm going to do the same thing again, var password, which is that password up there, which is this password right here. And this is complaining because it's supposed to return an action result, but I've not returned anything. So for right now, just for right now, just so it goes away, so let's just do return. You can return page, so you're going to return the same page that you are right now. So this means return the same page, so it doesn't complain anymore for now. Okay. But interesting, I wanted to show you guys is that these values now, when we post it, it's going to come here. It's going to come here, and we're going to see these values are the same thing that we typed, right? So just by coming back here and doing bind property and typing the name the same way it is over here, and doing that same thing here, and typing it as same as it is on the name, like name, just the same thing, it's gonna bind it. You're gonna know, okay, you're trying to bind this guy over there. It's gonna bind it with the values over there. As long as it's a type of button as submit, it's going to bind it. So let's give it a try. Right now we're at the point where we can try this. We can try the posting a form. In the same way, you can post a form too. Like if you're doing like a registration page, you're trying to post that the values of the form, you can do it this same way. So let's say I'm gonna do demo as the username. I'm going to do password as, let's say, demo. Is that it? 1 2? Okay, demo 1 2, username, password, like that, and then we posted it. You see, it came here, It's important that we inspect this now to make sure that it's there. Right there is demo. Look at the value, demo, and then look at the password, demo 12. We got the values we're looking for, and then when we come here, it's going to assign it to this place. We got the value we're looking for right there, and then of course this is just going to return to page, but that's fine. All right, so it's just going to return to the same page. It's fine because I have not done anything. So now let's go and talk about how we're going to do the data, because we need some data to work with, some employees information to work with. At this point, I'm not going to create a database. We're just going to work with a data class that I'm just going to create right now. You can also create the data class too, but we're just going to work with the data class that I'm going to create, and we're working from there going forward. Okay, so I'm going to add um so no, let's add a folder, right? Let's add a new folder, call it model, right? Call it model or models, depending on what you think. Let's make it model. Inside of here, I'm going to add an employee class that will hold all the properties of employee. It's loading. Okay, cool. So just call it employee. Don't add the class employee. All right, and you add right here like that. It's a public class and all of that. Now we're going to put the properties of the employee right there. So just type along with me. I already have all the properties here slated out. So let's do that. All right. So if you could type along, public int employee ID, up curly braces, close curly braces, getter and setter, like that. Or you could do like this too. Let me show you a trick. Look at this trick. You could do like this, prop, right? And then you tap the tab. There's a tab bar um, above the cap log button. You just tap it 2 times. Just hit it 2 times. Just do tap tap like that. It's going to generate this thing for you. So you don't, at this point, you don't need to be typing all of these things. You can just go here and maybe change this guy to maybe string, or leave it like that. And then you just change the name of your property here to my name, something like that. Whatever you want to do, right? So either that's just a trick I'm just showing you, right? So you just know. Okay. So now go ahead and type all of these guys here. Now you're going to see, if you're using Visual Studio 2022, you're going to see this squiggly line here. It's just telling you that this thing could possibly be a null reference exception. So therefore, a way to remove that is just put a question mark like that. It will go away. Just just basically you're telling it it's nullable. You're telling it, hey, this is nullable, and all of that will just go away, right? Like that. You don't have to do it, but just to make it look cleaner, do it. Okay, so this thing has employee ID, username, password, employee name, department, year of service, gender, salary, and if the person is a manager. So we are going to use this to determine if we are going to be showing in the dashboard if it's going to be a manager, or we're just going to leave it like that as a regular employee. So remember, the manager has the other section where the manager can see all the other employees, add a new employee, edit employee, delete employee. So this is the key that we're going to use, is manager. A boolean, true or false value is manager. And also these are the username and password. That is why we're trying to do this now. So we're going to check based on the username and password that is put in. We're going to check if it matches. So after that, we're going to add a data class. This data class is acting like a dummy database, like a mock database, right? But I just call it data class, right? Just think about it like our database, but it's just a dummy one. Like we're not hitting database, but we need some data, right? So that is that. Now for this class, it's important that you take note of what I'm doing here. So we have a public class, but I'm going to be doing a list of employees here. So I already created an employee class. I'm going to be doing a list of employees. So we're going to do public, and I'm going to be making it static, because static means you don't have to make a new instance of it for it to exist, for you to be able to use it. So this static keyword means we don't need to make a new instance of it. So it's a static list of employees. Okay, so I'm going to add employees, so like that. Okay, however, I want to be I want to go ahead and just pop populate the employees right here. So I'm going to give the data. We're going to type it hard coded data, right? Instead of going to the database, let's just type all the data right here, and then forget about database for now. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and let's do it open and close right there. Now when we do, oh, I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a new instance of this class. Sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, so a new instance of this list of employees like that, right? Do it like that, new instance of this. So public static list of employees equals to new instance of employees, rectangular braces, enter. Okay, that's what I wanted to do the initial time. So right now, once I enter, you can see that C Sharp is suggesting that, hey, you're going to make a new employee. Yes, I want to make a new employee because I want to do about 5 new employees. So the new employee going to be one, two, three. I'm going to do one, two, three, four, 5 of them, and then each of them we are going to be having their names and everything that we need about them configured here. Okay, so that being said, I want to show you just one first, then you can just copy and paste everything else. So the first one is this guy. Okay, so just imagine that you have this guy here, new employee, open and closing curly braces. So look at this, open and closing curly braces, and then you put a comma here, just a comma, not semicolon, comma here, and then you could copy this guy, copy it again, and then just repeat it again like that. Just repeat it, just paste, come here under here and paste it like that, and then start changing these values. Like for me, first thing I did is, okay, so maybe this is not really a good way to show you guys. So let's do it so that everybody that can, new people can see it too. So you do type new employee like that. Okay, instead of doing the close circular bracket, do curly bracket like that, and then you put comma at this place like this. Okay, now what you can do now is copy these guys 5 times like that. We're gonna populate it. I just want to tell you, copy it 5 times like that. Okay, and then when you come in here, instead of the first one, just do space, just do like space. So you're going to tell you what you're going to be trying to populate. So you come in here first. The first one is employee ID, right? Employee ID, let's say it's equals to 1, put comma. Second one is username. Username is equals to, for me, I'm just going to do, you can do whatever you want, right? Like this username is up to you. For me, I'm going to do F James, and then you could do password. Password equals to, let's see, A B C D. It's simple thing. This is just for test. This is just for practice purposes, demo and all. You don't have to do a difficult password. It's just for, let's learn something. Employee name, for me it is, let's do Felix James. Let's me make that capital later, because there probably might be a James watching this. I'm like, oh, you made my name lower letter. That's not good. All right, so let's do department. This one is HR. HR. Excuse me. Let's do year of service. Next one is year of service. I'm gonna give this one 4 years. So I'm taking my time to do this, so you too could just quickly do your stuff and then just move on as fast. I don't want to like just do quickly and then you don't understand what's going on, because this is where the confusion might start. If you're not, like, if you don't get this part, confusion might start right here. The next one is gender. Oh no, I'm typing in a different place. My bad. Okay, the next one is gender. Let's make this. Okay, it's Felix, right? So it's male. And then the next one is, so you understand it, you understand the flow right now, right? It's just on and on and on and on like that until you finish up everything that you need to. Its salary is important, so let's give the person salary, and I'm going to be giving this person, put the dollar sign, let's see, 55,000. Okay, and then the last one that I wanted to do here is manager. Is this person a manager? No, this person is not a manager, so let's put false like that. So by the time you finish, you'll be having something like this, right? You'll be having something like this. You see, right? Now, go ahead and copy. If you want to be fast, just copy this here, and put in here, right? So now you did that already. Then just make this number two. So that's employee number two. Then change this name to something else, and on and on and on like that. Okay. Pretty sure that's a little more clearer what is going on in here. And don't forget to put this semicolon here, otherwise this, so after this list put a semicolon, otherwise you'll be complaining. Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of time to follow along, but for me I already have it typed out like that all through. So for me, this is the list, the final list for me. I will leave it like this, right? So that when you type in, you could, if you want to follow exactly my own, I'll leave it like this for a few minutes, a few seconds. Okay. So you could pause right here and type, maybe type up to the department, right? That's if you're trying to follow along with me. And then I'm gonna now push it all the way here, like from departments. Now you could see the rest of these other guys here. Just try and now pause here too, and then follow along for like each of these lines. I know this is like a pain, but once you get this data, we are done. Okay, so pause here and type along like this if you want to follow me exactly. Okay, so now let us go now and do the rest of the stuff. Let me save this. Let me go back to index.chtml.cs. Now in here, this is where we want to start the magic of logging in. So let's do the login code behind like the programming itself, right? So the first thing that you want to do now that you have this username and password right here now, the first thing that you want to do is so I want to check for the employee, if the employee exists, right? So I'm going to do employee. So the sorry, employee equals to, remember that this class is a data, right? So data class, so I'm going to be calling the data class. It doesn't know it right here now. What you can do is you can right click and just click on this guy, and then it's going to tell you using statements, right? Using statement, using demo dot models. So it now knows it, right? And then inside of here we have a property called employees. Look at it right there. So employees, um we could do single or default, or you could do first or default. It's up to you. So if you do employees and you do dot, if you do dot, you have a lot of options here, but you could do first or default or single or default. It's up to you, whichever one you choose is to do. Okay, and then you do a x. I'm going to do a lambda expression. X going to, you see that equal to and then greater than sign, going to x dot. So now automatically, now these are the values that are inside this employee class that we created. Those values right there, those are list of employees that they just created right now. These are the values right there. So I'm going to be doing employee dot username. I want to make sure that it's equal to, so double equal to means equal to. I want to make sure that it's equal to this username here. So but because of its this username is the same spelling as this, I don't want to confuse you, so let's use this one that is assigned here. Okay, it's equal to, so username is equal to, double equal to means you're checking for equality. Okay, is equal to username. Okay, that's one. So we want to make sure that the username and the password is correct. So understand, that's what I feel, that's the right way to do it, not just username. So then x again dot password, you already guessed it, equal to this password that is up here. Okay, so this guy right here, I want to make sure that's the guy, right? So once we finish, we want to check if this is not null, like if this one returns something. If it returns something, then we're going to navigate to the new page dashboard screen that we're going to create very soon. So we're going to check if employee is not null. That right now that one is null, but we're going to be checking if it is not null. Not null. Okay, so if it is not null, I'm going to just keep a comment here. Navigate to success. I mean not success screen. Navigate to dashboard. Navigate to dashboard. Just leave it like that, right? Navigate to dashboard. We know if it is so. Else, if it is not, if nothing is found, so if it doesn't match any of those values to bring us something, we want to return an error. I want to tell the person that hey, there's an error has happened. So, but how do we do that? Simple. You could create another bind property here, right? You create another bind property and just call it check it if it's an error, right? So and make it a boolean. So it's bool, and then for here I'm going to just change this to is the name as is error. So we're checking if error occurred. So we're trying to see if there's an error. So is error in here, we know that error has occurred, so set it to true. So if it comes here, an error has occurred, so we're going to set it to true. Now we want this property to also be available in the index page where we have the HTML, like we will have all these form, where we have the form, we want it to be accessible and available too here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bind it, property binding, so that you can have it two-way, so it can be available in here and also be available in here. When a value is set in here, that value is going to be also accessible in here. So let's make a binded property. All you need to do is just do the rectangular braces and type bind property. Look at it right there. All right, that's it. That's all you need. So right now this is available over here. So if an error happens, what do we want to do? Whenever an error happens, we want to return to page. Like we want to return the same page. So I'm going to copy that one over there, and then you see this is complaining again. Right, the red line is there again. Copy that over here, you paste it there. So now if an error happens, you set this is error to true, and then you return to page. Right, that's how we will do it. It's still complaining because we have not added anything here. It doesn't know what to do if it comes in here, so it's going to complain to fix that part. So let's go in and try to do something with an error, and then we'll see if the error will happen. However, if an error happens, what do we want to do? I think if error happens, we want to if an error happens, let's show the error. Let's just say uh, let's say something like um, let's do if an error happens. So if that's how you. So I forgot to mention that in here too you can write some code, some C# code, but you have to use the at symbol in front of it. Once you add at symbol in front of it, at, and then you can start writing C# code here too. Put that if model, this model right here that is showing right here, this one. If you type model, okay, if model dot is error, so you see it's available here too. If this is true, if there's an error, so if this is true, okay, for me I want to display um let's put a paragraph and then just write something is wrong here, and then just style it, give it like a style of red. So you put a paragraph, you style it, color, put style equals to color red, username or password was wrong. Just leave it. That's the more appropriate stuff, right? And I forgot to mention this model here. This is this model that is right here. This one here, index model. So to have an instance, when you do this capital letter model, is an instance of this index model, and this index model is available in this class here, index model. So everything inside of here that is public will be accessible inside of over here too, right? That's that. So right now we got it. So let's run this now and try to post this thing again. Now let's give a very wrong password or wrong username. Okay, something's wrong. Do you I don't want to build, I don't want to continue, so let's go back and fix what is wrong. Okay, it's this guy here. It's saying we need to return something. So let's just create a dashboard page, right? Let's just create a dashboard page so that we could return it. We could just navigate to it immediately. Yeah. So I'm going to create the pages. Click on pages. Okay. Add. So you're going to add razor page. Razor page. Add a razor page. So this is the first time we're adding the page, right? The razor page. So okay. So click that add, and it's going to come here. And I just want to type right there. Be careful not to remove the dots or not to, you know. So it's before the dots. Okay. And then I'm going to type employee dashboard. Right, that's a long name, right? Let's say I copy it like that. Oh, don't worry about it. And then we do add. Okay, so now we have this guy here, and what can we do here? I guess let's put history. History. Okay. Let's just do welcome for now. I'm going to be adding more stuff, but just as a welcome for now. Okay. Okay, so this is the what created. But if you come over here, you're going to see that it also created the employee.cs .cs class here. So let's click on the .cs class. So we have this guy right here. This is where you're going to be doing some programming as well in the dashboard and all of that. So with that being said, let's go back to here and tell it to navigate. Tell it now to navigate to that dashboard we just created right now, because that's the essence, right? So to do that, to do this, all you need to do is you're going to do return redirect to page. Do you see that? Keep typing until it comes out. Redirect to page. Look at it right there. So we're directing it to the employee dashboard page, and then you can copy the employee dashboard exactly as oh no. Okay, just copy it like that. Make sure the spelling is correct, and you put it here like the employee dashboard. So we are going to the employee dashboard. I also want to be coming in here with an excuse me, I'm sorry, with an ID. So because we're going to that page, we need to each employee that logs in, we need to take the ID of the employee and navigate to that page as well. So to do that, you're going to add a new. So look at this. Like you could see, new route object. So we need to add the route object, and it's already suggesting it to us right there what to do. So I'm just going to hit tab to complete it. Okay, however, that's not what I really want. I want ID like that. Excuse me. And then this ID, I want to get it from this employee right here. So this employee dot ID, employee ID right there. Okay. So now you see this is it. Okay. So now it's going to navigate carrying this employee and assigning it inside of here, and it's going to navigate over there. Now when we go over there, we need to tell it to receive. We need to tell it that it should expect this employee ID over at the other side. And how do you do that? You also add a bind property over there, but this time around you tell it to expect it. expect this property over here. So let's go to over here, and in here we're going to do right there. I want us to do the first thing we're going to do right here is um let's call it employee ID. That's fine. Let's just call this employee ID. Employee ID. However, we're going to tell it to expect this value to be binded from the other page that is coming. So it's same thing that you've already seen, the binded properties, but this time around we're going to configure it a little bit more. Bind property like that. So we just configured it a little bit more. The name that it should be expecting is that name over at the other side. It has like the name right there, right? So what is the name you're expecting is that this one, this exactly this one here, exactly this one here. See this guy? We should be expecting this guy over here, right? And then you do support get equals to true. That's it. That's it. It's gonna, this one now will be over here. So if you come over here and we just do we come over here and do var emp id equals to employee id, we should be able to grab this guy over here and all of that. So now that this is all set up and this is also expecting employee id, let us go in here and tell this HTML, this welcome that we did right here, this welcome right here, let us do what can we do, what can we do here? I just want to try to do something that will show you that we're actually in this page and we're able to get the guides, the employee's name or employee information. So let's bring in another object here. Let's bring in employee object here. So I'm going to do public prop, right? I'm going to do prop, and that's going to be the employee object. Employee object is not, it doesn't know about it right here yet. Paste, and then you could do control dot to bring the suggestions already, and then that, so now it knows about it right now. Okay, so here excuse me, here I'm going to do the same thing we did over here again. um Same thing that we did over here. So basically I'm going to do this line, but but I'm just going to use the employee ID now to get the value right here. So you could copy this over and then just change some few things. So let's see, so this is now employee. I'm going to be assign it to this guy, to this guy here. Whatever we're going to be doing right now, assign it to that guy. Equals to now data class dot employees dot first or default. Okay, x, let's do that same again so you can practice more. X dot, now you guessed it right, dot employee ID. So we are finding where the employee ID is equals to this employee ID. It's equals to this employee ID right here. Now if there's a value here, we want this to be a binded property as well. Oh no, we don't, probably not a binded property. This is going to be available inside of here, right? So now that we said welcome, I just want to say that at symbol. Remember I said whenever you want to do C sharp, excuse me, you do at symbol model dot employee this guy dot employee name, like that. So this now is going to give us the employee name, right? Okay, so let's look at the whole thing again from beginning. Just a recap before I run this thing and demonstrate what is going on here. Okay, so the first thing that we did was to add this part here, which is like the welcome and please log in below. After that, we added the form, which is this part here. And after we added the form, we did a styling, this CSS right here to style it, right? Okay, so after we did the styling, we tested our form. It looked good and all of that. Now the next part was to post it, and then make sure that submit is the type the button type is equal to submit, and make sure that the method here is equal to post. Form method is equal to post. Once you do that, and then you run the code, when you type something, it's going to post to this on post method. This method that we wrote here together is going to be on post method. How do you post those values that you're typing over to this place? It's creating a property here and decorating it with bind property like that. Rectangular brackets, and then inside of it type bind properties. Same thing with the password. Just copy this thing like this, make sure it's the same. Excuse me. Make sure it's the same with the name for that um, text box, input text box. Make sure it's the same. Copy it and paste here. And then the same thing with the password. Once you do that, you're going to be able to populate this guy and access the value here. And then once we do that, we created a class here, and then we populated the class with information like this. Okay, already 5 of them. And then before that, I actually created a class and just gave the model the names like that, and then use this employee to populate and create the values that will be inside of it. Okay, so once we did that, we already have that. So we did this filter to get the employee, the exact employee based on the username that was passed in and the password that was typed in from the form. Then after that, we are checking if it is not null. That means if there's an employee here, we want to redirect to employee dashboard. So we want to take them to the dashboard screen, passing along the employee ID, which we will get from this employee.employee ID. So that now is this employee class here, and then that now is this employee HTML here, and this one right here that we created right here, this one. Okay, so after it's going to navigate there if it is correct. If it is not correct, we added an is error property here to check if there's an error. If there's an error, nothing is correct, we say is error is true, and then we return to page. Once we return to the page, we want to display that if the model.isError is true. Usually, if you don't, you could do equals to true here, or you could just leave it. If it is true, you don't have to do anything, right? Just type is model.is true. It's just going to know that it's true, and then it's going to display this guy here. So this is the full path that we've gone through, and so that we can test this thing and see how it works. So let's go ahead and test it, and we're going to see how this thing works. This is just a login screen. We're going to do the dashboard page on our next video. Okay, it's taking a little bit of time to load. Let's give it some time. I hope you guys really kind of followed up, and I hope it's not too fast or too slow. All right, what do you want to test? Let's test a fake one. Let's test like if like something that is not existing, and we want to see that the error shows here, right? So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. This should show the error. Okay, so come in here. This should not exist. By the way, look at it. It's still showing that. Look at the password. It's still showing that. And then this should not exist. This should be null. It is null. You see null, and then it shouldn't exist. So it's going to come here, and it's going to come over here, and this should show the error is true, and this should show username or password was wrong. See, this is how simple you could kind of protect your code from people logging in and not logging, and then show them a nice message to show that hey, something was wrong here. Okay, so now let's go and do a good login. For this one, I need to go back to my data page. Actually, I think I've tested with let's test with this guy, right? This guy. I think the password for this one, you could check your own data page and see the password that you gave for that guy. I think mine was ABCD. And then we're going to come back here again. I'm using this guy, but the middle one is your safe bet. It's a safe bet always. And then we'll go here. You hover over this guy, FJames, and password is ABCD, and then you come over here, and then you see like the employee. There's something in there, so you drop this guy, this drop down here. You're gonna see that we got it. Felix James, male, ABC 55,000 false. The person is not a manager, so then he's gonna come over here, and then hold on. Let me put a breakpoint here so we could see if this guy actually came in here, and this value is actually passed truly, because it's important. So I'm gonna just do continue. Okay, so there's a problem here, and I'm gonna fix that problem. I need to know why the problem is happening. It says no page named empo employee dashboard matches the supplied value. Oh, there's a spelling here. You could see I made an error. That's why it's important to spell these things correctly. So let's go. Let me go and correct that spelling. Oh boy, how did I make that mistake? Let me stop that. How did I make that mistake? So we'll come in here. See, look at me. Look at what I did. It's Empo ID that I did there. Meanwhile, it is employee ID. I mean employee dashboard. Sorry. So employee dashboard is correct, right? Yep. Employee. So that's the mistake that I made. So let's go back and try this login again. I know this video is already too long, but let's just let's try it one more this time. And once it logs in there, then we are good to end it on this part here, and we could pick up again on developing the. So this is A B C D. Okay, login. I'm just going to continue because we already know that's okay. This is still not happening. Another mistake again. This is the dashboard right here. Look, it's supposed to be dashboard, not board. What am I spelling? Oh man, I'm so sorry for this, but alright, that's dashboard. That is employee dashboard. Right. Well, I mean, at least you could see that, this sometimes an error comes on pages. You have to try to fix it, determine what is going on, read the error, and try to fix it. It's not always just, always like everything is just plug and play. Sometimes there's errors, and then you have to fix it. And this is at least showing you that, okay, how to fix the errors. Let's go again. Hopefully this time around everything good. This time around everything is good. And then you see it comes in here employee number one. That's for me is employee number one. So it gets the ID, employee number one, and then let's go in here and let's see if it picks the employee number one. Correct, it picks employee number one, and we get it. Great. Now when we do continue, it's not liking it as well. Why? No reference exception. No reference exception. There's been so much of errors in this code. Okay. All right, let me fix this again, and then we'll see why there is no reference exception. Yeah. Okay, so you have the model right there, and the employee here is null. Okay, so let's go and fix why that is null again. Okay, so this is the employee here. Oh, so it's because I did this var here. So that means this is not setting this guy. So you have to remove the var and just set it to this guy alone. Remove that var and just set it to this guy like that. Now when you click this now, you see it is now the same. It's complaining here, so you could. This line means that this is possible null reference exception. Possible null reference exception. So what you could do is you could just do equal to um you could just do equal maybe not equal to, sorry. You do the nullable check here. Nullable check is double equal to, and then you do that. So if it is null, you just return a new instance of the employee model. Now this is gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna take away these breakpoints. I don't want no breakpoints anymore. Everything should just be working straight up now. When I log in, I just want to go straight to that. So this is important to show you that how you could have errors and try to fix your errors. Look at your code very well. Look at where it's failing. Read the error and try to fix it. This, as it is sort of a good error to have, so you could learn how to see how to debug and all of that. Okay, now this one should work for me. There you go. So now we are inside of the dashboard. Look at this. Look at this URL: dashboard, employee dashboard, with employee ID equals to number 1, right? And then we have welcome. The employee name is Felix James. So this is the beginning of the dashboard. Now we're going to stop here for login. So we've successfully logged in from our code successfully, and I'm going to stop here. Actually, let me log in one more time. This time around, let's do film. I think this one was ABCD1. So to get a different person. Sorry, excuse me. So this is Phil Morris, or is a different person. So employee number 3. So this is the login is working. So we successfully log into the dashboard, and this is where I'll be stopping with the part 1 of this video series. And I hope you understood, or at least hope it's a beginner level, or for you to try to build up to learn more things. Let's look forward to the next video, which is gonna come up after this one. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. If you're new here, please subscribe to this channel. Please help this channel grow. Please like this video so that YouTube will suggest this video to more people. I need all the subscribers that I can get as possible. If you watch to this point, please just help me and just hit the subscribe button. I have a lot of videos of tutorial trainings and programming that are coming up. Also, like this video so that I can have a lot of likes, so that this video can go far, far, far and wide. Okay, please don't leave this without subscribing. Thank you. All right, bye. Thank you so much. Bye bye.